call on one or two of you to share from yours. We talked about us needing to be much more focused on the gender issues in our programs. And we were talking specifically about Habitat. It was a reflection on ourselves, right? That often we're not always very good at identifying those people who most need support and understanding the different needs and experiences of people. So that was an area we felt that was a gap that we really need to address. There was also a lot of conversation about the language we use. So often we'll use the word vulnerable, which can be disempowering. We'll use the word charity, or we'll have an attitude of charity rather than understanding the deeper systems, the systemic issues that marginalize systematically and discriminate against people. If you could mute, Val, that would be helpful. We talked also about language from a technical perspective, that a lot of stuff that is sent out is very technical and people don't understand it. They'll receive a letter and they literally don't understand it. And so using much more accessible language and supporting people to have functional literacy, digital literacy is really important. And of course, we talked about trust and building community. There was a lot about solidarity in the sessions and the importance of understanding communities, working with people who are trusted in the community. And a reflection from Marielle was that if a man goes to the door of a woman living alone, she may not open the door, but if a woman goes, she may feel more comfortable. So those types of things need to be kept in mind. What kind of reflections did you have? Oh, and the one thing we wanted to learn more about was organizations working with Roma and energy poverty quite specifically. That was something that we're interested and curious about. Does anyone else want to chime in? Feel free to chime in and just share one or two things, and I can see Diana has shared in the chat, which is helpful. You can also share that way. The importance of communicating the issue, making people aware of this issue. The importance of finding the right people, the people who actually need the support. More men in policy making than women. And of course, there is, and we talked briefly about this in our group, the emerging right wing, which is a challenge. And how do we bring these issues forward in the present changing world? The CEES project did a great webinar on different ways to identify people in energy poverty. Thank you for sharing that. That's fantastic, Marilyn. Great. Any other contributions or reflections from your groups? Anything that you're doing that you wanted to share about? Please do share in the chat or speak up. It's so nice to hear people's voices. Anyone want to share? Just come off mute. Anyone?
Yes, Alison, actually, in our group, when someone was actually referenced into communication, we also talked about the importance of communication, not related to gender precisely, but related to incentives and to policies and to subsidies that might be in place for those who need it, but it's sometimes very difficult to reach out to them and to actually get to them. So the importance of communication is crucial, because once they don't get the message, and once there is not a trust, it's very difficult for them to, use what's out there in the system for them in terms of, for example, subsidies. And also with Jadranka from Habitat for Humanity, whom I never actually met before. We just met on this small group, which was very lovely, I guess. She was talking about importance of national level politics and the development of that, especially in terms of informal settlements policies and housing for people in informal settlements, as it's quite a burden for the municipalities in terms of like finances and the overall management, organization, policies, once the policy is not created on national level.
So there are very specific national level issues, but also within a community or a particular municipality that need to be looked at.
Indeed.
Thank you, Susanna. Thank you. Really interesting reflections. Any other reflections from the groups? Please do use your voice. It's so nice to hear you, or drop them in the chat if you're not wanting to share any reflections. Has anyone got anything to share?
So maybe I will jump in, and I'm sorry I'm
Do.
commuting already. This is Justyna from Habit of Poland. I will say a little bit on what we talked about in a group and some more things to add because the time was up. So Diana wrote more or less what we talked about in the chat already.
Fantastic.
I would add to this that mostly the problem is, of course, not enough women being in the position of policymakers, not having this basic knowledge about how different needs women can have in certain fields. That's one thing. The thing I didn't manage to say is that also the problem is that there is not enough gender in general in the policies. So there is a systemic lack of gender perspective in lots of different policies connected to social issues, so social exclusion, climate policies, and energy related policies. I think a month ago I had an opportunity to talk to one of the regional authorities. So like authority that is second in line after central government. And I was showing to them a map of energy poverty in Poland, and believe me, they looked surprised. So what I get from it is that still people the concept of energy poverty is not there in the hands of policymakers. The data is not there in general, not to mention this gender aspect. So we need a more synergies and systemic actions to actually bring the topic to the local policymakers and move the topic forward in general. And
thank you.
I can talk more, but yeah.
That would be great, but unfortunately we are reaching the end of our time. So I do want to respect time because many have been on for an hour and a half, and I'm so grateful that you stayed. I also want to thank the people who helped behind the scenes prepare for this. Ludmila, Lucia and Juri, you've been absolutely wonderful in preparation. And of course, huge thanks to our presenters, Marielle, Marilyn and Susanna, and our love to Claire, who unfortunately couldn't attend today. I'm grateful also to all of you for the work that you do and for helping us raise this issue. Please do share this story, share it broadly, tell people about the issues, but also about what is already happening and the successful approaches to addressing the issues are. We're very grateful. Thank you. And hopefully we'll meet again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.